1 year after the encounter with the Devourer fleet, the galaxy looked very different. Captain Alex Murphy walked through the corridors of Titan Station, which had grown from a secret shipyard into humanity's largest military complex. The sound of construction filled the air as workers built more ships based on the alien technology. "Captain Murphy, the new vessels are ahead of schedule," reported Admiral Kate Sullivan as they toured the construction bays. "We now have 12 ships of the Defiance class operational, with 8 more under construction." Alex nodded as he watched the massive hulls taking shape. Each ship was slightly different, as human engineers continued to improve the alien designs. "What about crew training?" "That is our biggest challenge," Admiral Sullivan replied. "We have enough volunteers to crew 50 ships, but training them to use this technology takes time. The alien systems are still complex, even with our improvements." They stopped at an observation window overlooking the main assembly area. Below them, workers were installing the primary weapons on a new ship that would be called the UES Vengeance. The energy cannons were larger than the ones on the Defiance, designed to punch through the strongest shields in known space. "Any word from Earth Command about the diplomatic situation?" Alex asked. "Mixed news," Admiral Sullivan said. "The good news is that most species are now treating humanity as a major power. Trade agreements are being signed, border disputes that have lasted decades are being resolved in our favor. And the bad news? The Galactic Defense Coalition is growing. 15 species now, all dedicated to containing human expansion. They are pooling their resources to build new weapons designed specifically to fight our ships." Alex was not surprised. Fear made people do desperate things. The galaxy had learned that humanity possessed devastating weapons and the will to use them. Some species wanted to join them. Others wanted to destroy them before they became too powerful. "What about the Vorthak?" Alex asked, completely withdrawn from human space. "Intelligence reports say they are building new ships in secret, but they have not attacked any human colonies in 8 months. I think we scared them more than we expected." Dr. Sam Phillips joined them at the observation window. He looked tired, but excited. "Alex, we have made a breakthrough with the alien artifact. We found records of other civilizations that fought the Devourer fleet." "How many others?" Alex asked. "At least 40 different species over the last 1,000,000 years. Most were destroyed completely, but a few survived by hiding or running away. The Keth-Tar were the only ones who actually fought back and won battles." "Until they lost the war," Admiral Sullivan pointed out. "That is the interesting part," Sam continued. "According to the records, the Keth-Tar did not lose because they were weak. They lost because they tried to fight the Devourers using traditional tactics, formation battles, defensive strategies, trying to minimize casualties." Alex understood immediately. "They fought like civilized beings instead of predators." "Exactly. The Devourers are used to fighting species that follow rules of war. They are not used to fighting species that are willing to do anything to win." Admiral Sullivan looked thoughtful. "So, our advantage is not just our weapons, it is our willingness to use them without restraint." "Among other things," Sam replied. "But there is something else. The artifact contained construction data for other types of ships, not just warships. The Keth-Tar built vessels that could travel between galaxies, ships that could hide entire star systems, technology that could manipulate time itself." Alex felt excitement building in his chest. "How much of this technology can we reproduce?" "With our current understanding, maybe 20%. But as we learn more, that percentage will grow. Give us 10 years, and we might be able to build ships that make the Defiance look like a toy." They were interrupted by the sound of alarms. Red lights began flashing throughout the station. "All personnel to battle stations," came an announcement over the intercom. Unknown ships detected at the edge of the system. Alex and Admiral Sullivan ran to the command center. The main display showed tactical information from long-range sensors. 6 large ships were approaching at high speed. Their energy signatures were familiar, but wrong somehow. Ship classification? Admiral Sullivan asked the duty officer. Vorthak design, Admiral, but modified. They are much larger than standard Vorthak vessels and showing energy readings we have never seen before. Alex studied the display. The approaching ships were definitely Vorthak, but they had been changed somehow. Enhanced. Admiral, I think the Vorthak have been busy during their withdrawal. Agreed. How long until they reach weapons range? 40 minutes at current speed. The Defiance and 3 sister ships are in system. Should we call for reinforcements? Admiral Sullivan shook her head. No time. Alert all ships to prepare for combat. Alex was already heading for the door. I need to get back to my ship. Alex, Admiral Sullivan called after him. Be careful. If the Vorthak have found a way to counter our technology, this could be a very different kind of battle. 20 minutes later, Alex was back on the bridge of the Defiance. His crew was at battle stations, ready for whatever was coming. The other human ships, UES Liberty, UES Freedom, and UES Justice, were moving into formation around Titan Station. Sensor report, Alex ordered. 6 Vorthak heavy cruisers modified with unknown technology, reported Dr. Rachel Green from the science station. Energy output is 3 times normal for ships that size. And Captain, I am detecting something. Else? They have some kind of energy absorption system similar to what the Devourers used. Alex felt his stomach tighten. The Vorthak had learned from the encounter with the Devourer fleet. They were trying to copy the alien technology that made those ships so dangerous. Communication from the lead Vorthak ship, announced Chris Taylor. Put it through, Alex said. The view screen showed a Vorthak bridge that had been heavily modified. Strange new equipment filled every surface. The Vorthak commander looked different too. His exoskeleton was enhanced with mechanical parts that glowed with energy. Human vessels, the commander said in accented English. I am War Leader Kextar of the enhanced Vorthak fleet. You have humiliated our empire for the last time. War Leader. You are approaching a human military installation without permission, Alex replied. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. Kextar's mandibles clicked with what might have been laughter. We studied the wreckage of our ships from your previous attacks. We learned how your weapons work. Now we have built ships that can absorb your energy and use it against you. You are welcome to try, Alex said calmly. The Vorthak ships opened fire first, but instead of trying to avoid the human vessels, they deliberately moved closer. Their enhanced hulls began to glow as they absorbed energy from their own weapons and from the station's defensive systems. They are feeding on energy just like the Devourers, Rachel reported. Every shot we fire makes them stronger. Alex smiled grimly. The Vorthak thought they had learned humanity's weakness. They were about to learn they had only discovered one of humanity's strengths. All ships, cease energy weapon fire, Alex ordered. Switch to kinetic weapons. Let's see how well they absorb a missile traveling at half the speed of light. The human ships stopped using their energy cannons and switched to physical projectiles. Missiles, railgun rounds, and simple chunks of metal accelerated to incredible speeds. The Vorthak energy absorption systems were useless against solid matter. The first Vorthak ship was destroyed within seconds. Its enhanced hull could absorb energy, but it could not stop a missile from punching a hole clean through it. The second ship tried to maneuver away, but human targeting systems tracked it easily. Sir, the remaining Vorthak ships are retreating, reported Major Sarah Johnson. Let them go, Alex said. But make sure they know they were beaten by simple human stubbornness, not advanced technology. As the battle ended, Alex realized something important. The galaxy was learning to fight humanity by copying their weapons and tactics. But they were missing the point. Human strength was not just in their technology, it was in their ability to adapt, to find new solutions, to refuse to give up no matter what. Chris, send a message to all human colonies, Alex ordered. Tell them the Vorthak tried to copy our technology and failed. Tell them that no matter what weapons our enemies build, humans will find a way to win. Looking out at the stars, Alex knew this was just the beginning. Other species would try to match human technology. Some might succeed partially, but they would never truly understand what made humanity dangerous. It was not their ships or their weapons. It was their refusal to accept defeat, even when facing impossible odds. That was something that could not be copied or stolen. The galaxy was learning to fear humanity, but they still did not understand what they were really afraid of. 3 weeks after the Galactic Council session, Captain Alex Murphy stood in his ready room aboard the UES Defiance and studied the intelligence reports spread across his desk. The galaxy had changed dramatically since their victory at Proxima. Some changes were good, others were deeply troubling. "Captain, Admiral Sullivan is ready for the briefing," announced Lieutenant Chris Taylor over the intercom. Alex gathered the reports and walked to the main conference room. Admiral Sullivan was waiting for him on the large view screen along with Dr. Sam Phillips and several other Earth Command officials. "Admiral," Alex said as he sat down, "I have read the latest intelligence summaries. The situation is more complex than we expected." "That is putting it mildly," Admiral Sullivan replied. "Let me start with the good news. The Vorthak Empire has withdrawn from all contested border systems. They are calling it a strategic repositioning, but our sources say their military leaders are terrified of facing another ship like the Defiance." "What about the other species?" Alex asked. Mixed reactions. The Kepler Republic has offered a formal peace treaty. The Aquarian systems want to establish trade relationships. Even some of the smaller Vorthak client states are asking for protection under human authority. Alex nodded. These were positive developments, but he could see concern in Admiral Sullivan's eyes. "And the bad news?" "Several species are forming a military alliance specifically to counter human expansion. They call it the Galactic Defense Coalition. The Zentari Empire is leading it, along with the Altarian Federation and 12 smaller species." Dr. Sam Phillips leaned forward on the screen. "There is something else, Alex. We have been analyzing more data from the alien artifact. We found historical records about what happened to the Kethtar civilization." "Go on," Alex said. "The Kethtar built multiple ships like the Defiance. They had a fleet of over 50 super dreadnoughts. They should have been unstoppable. But they were destroyed anyway," Alex said, "by the Vorthak." "No," Sam replied. "Not by the Vorthak. The historical records show that the Kethtar were winning their war against the Vorthak Empire. They had pushed the Vorthak back to their core systems. Complete victory was within reach." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "Then what destroyed them?" "Something from outside the galaxy. The records call it the Devourer Fleet. Ships that fed on energy and grew stronger with each battle. The Kethtar superweapons only made them more powerful." Admiral Sullivan looked grim. "Sam, how long ago did this happen?" "According to the records, approximately 50,000 years ago. But here is the troubling part. The Devourer Fleet operates in cycles. They sweep through galaxies, consume everything, then return to deep space to hibernate." "How long are these cycles?" Alex asked, though he was afraid of the answer. 50,000 years, Sam replied. The conference room went silent. Alex felt the weight of what Sam was telling them. Humanity had announced their presence to the galaxy with weapons that could be seen across vast distances. If something was watching from the dark spaces between stars, they had just lit a beacon. "Sir, incoming priority message," Chris Taylor's voice came over the intercom. "Long-range sensors are detecting unknown contacts at the edge of the system." Alex stood up quickly. "How many contacts?" "Multiple signatures, sir. Very large. And they are not matching any known ship designs." Admiral Sullivan's image flickered as the communication link struggled with interference. "Alex, get your ship to battle stations. We will send reinforcements as soon as possible." "Understood, Admiral." But if these are the ships from Sam's records, I am not sure reinforcements will help. Alex ran to the bridge. His crew was already at their stations. The main view screen showed long-range sensor readings. 12 massive contacts were approaching from the edge of the solar system. Each one was larger than the Defiance. Size estimate on those ships? Alex asked Major Sarah Johnson. At least 3 kilometers long each, sir. Energy readings are off the scale. And Captain, they are accelerating. They will reach us in 2 hours. Any response to our communication attempts? Alex asked Chris. Nothing, sir. They are not responding to any frequency. Alex studied the tactical display. 12 unknown ships, of enormous size with energy signatures beyond anything in known space. If these were the same ships that had destroyed the Kethtar civilization, the Defiance might not be enough. Sarah, what are our tactical options? Limited, sir. We could try to run, but their ships are faster than ours. We could fight, but 12 against 1 are bad odds even for us. Sir, Dr. Rachel Green called from her science station, I am detecting something strange about their energy signatures. They are not consistent. Some ships are much more powerful than others. Explain, Alex said. It looks like they feed on energy, just like the record said. The ships in front are the largest and most powerful. The ones in back are smaller and weaker. They might be scouts or recently awakened vessels. Alex saw an opportunity. Sarah, could we target the weaker ships first? Maybe disrupt their formation? Possibly, sir. But if we attack them, the larger ships will definitely respond. Alex made his decision. All crew, this is the captain. We are about to face an enemy that destroyed one of the most advanced civilizations in galactic history. But we have something they did not have. We have human stubbornness and the willingness to try tactics that no sane species would attempt. He turned to Tony at the navigation station. Plot a course directly through their formation, maximum speed. Sir, that will put us within weapons range of all 12 ships, Tony said. Exactly. Sarah, prepare all weapons. When we reach the center of their formation, fire everything at the largest ship. Sir, are you sure about this? Sarah asked. No, but running will not work, and fighting defensively will just delay the inevitable. Sometimes the only way to win is to do something so crazy that the enemy does not expect it. The next hour passed slowly. The unknown ships continued their approach. No communication, no demands. They simply moved toward the human ship with mechanical precision. As the two forces closed to weapons range, the alien ships opened fire first. Energy beams unlike anything in known space struck the Defiance's shields. The bridge shook violently. Shields down to 60%, reported Chief Betty Walsh from engineering. These weapons are draining our power faster than we can regenerate it. Now we know how they feed, Alex said grimly. Tony, execute attack run. All speed. The Defiance accelerated directly toward the center of the alien formation. The enemy ships increased their rate of fire, but the human vessel's speed and maneuverability kept them from landing solid hits. In range of the lead ship, Sarah announced. All weapons ready. Fire everything, Alex ordered. The Defiance unleashed its full arsenal at point-blank range. Every energy cannon, every torpedo, every weapon system fired simultaneously at the largest alien vessel. For a moment, the area around the enemy ship was brighter than a star. When the light faded, the alien ship was gone. Completely destroyed. But the remaining 11 ships had stopped firing. They hung motionless in space, as if confused. Sir, the alien ships have stopped their attack, Chris reported. They are sending a signal. It is coming through on all frequencies. Put it through, Alex said. A voice filled the bridge. It was mechanical, emotionless, but somehow ancient. Small ones, you possess weapons of the Makers. You destroyed our lead vessel. This has not occurred in 50 cycles. This is Captain Alex Murphy of the UES Defiance. Identify yourselves and state your intentions. We are the Harvest Fleet. We consume. We grow. We return to the void. But you carry the Maker's fire. You are not food. You are makers. Alex exchanged glances with his crew. We are humans. We found technology left by the Kethtar and adapted it for our own use. Kethtar. Yes, they were makers too. Strong makers. We consumed them when they grew too bright. But you are different. You made their weapons stronger. You fight like devourers, not makers. Sarah leaned close to Alex. Sir, I think they are saying we fight like them, like predators instead of prey. Is that why you stopped attacking? Alex asked the alien voice. We test all makers. Most fail quickly, some fight longer. All are consumed eventually. But you destroyed our lead vessel with maker weapons. This makes you hunter makers. Very rare. What happens now? Alex asked. Now we learn. If you are true, hunter makers, we retreat and return in 50 cycles to test your children. If you are merely lucky, we consume you now. Alex realized this was some kind of test. The alien fleet was waiting to see what humanity would do next. Run and prove they were cowards? Stay and fight impossible odds? We are hunter makers, Alex said firmly, and we will be ready when you return. The alien voice was silent for a long moment. Interesting. Your weapons carry maker's fire, but your spirit is devourer-born. Very interesting. We will mark your species as hunter-makers and withdraw. Do not disappoint us when we return. One by one, the alien ships turned and accelerated toward the edge of the system. Within an hour, they were gone, leaving only empty space and unanswered questions. Chris, send a priority message to Earth Command, Alex said. Tell them we just met the species that destroyed the Kethtar, and we have 50,000 years to get ready for their return. As the Defiance returned to normal operations, Alex looked out at the stars and wondered what humanity had become. They had. The news of the Proxima battle reached every corner of the galaxy within 24 hours. On the Galactic Council homeworld, emergency sessions were called. In the Vorthak Empire, military leaders demanded answers. Throughout known space, every species was asking the same question. How had humanity built such a powerful ship? Ambassador Helen Foster sat in her small office at the Galactic Council building and watched the chaos unfold. For 15 years, she had been humanity's voice on the Council. For 15 years, she had been mostly ignored. Council members treated her like a child who should be grateful just to have a seat at the table. Today was different. Today, her appointment calendar was full of requests from species who had never spoken to her before. The Ethereal Collective wanted a meeting. The Kepler Republic was asking about trade agreements. Even the proud Zentari Empire was requesting a diplomatic audience. Ambassador Foster, the council chairman wants to see you immediately, said her assistant, Mark Wilson. He looked nervous. The whole building was nervous. Helen walked through the council halls with her head high. Other ambassadors stared at her as she passed. Some looked afraid. Others looked angry. A few looked impressed. She had waited years for this moment. The council chamber was packed. All 47 member species were present. That had not happened in over a decade. Council Chairman Veltar, a tall alien with blue skin and 6 arms, stood at the central podium. His usually calm demeanor was gone. Ambassador Foster, Chairman Veltar said as she entered. The Council demands an explanation for humanity's unprovoked attack on Vorthak forces. Helen took her place at the human delegation's small table. Around her, dozens of alien species watched and waited. She had prepared for this moment her entire career. Unprovoked, Helen said, standing up. The Vorthak were attacking civilian transports. 30,000 innocent people, including children. Where was the Council's protection then? The Vorthak expansion is a matter for negotiation, replied Ambassador Kethran of the Altarian Federation. Violence is not the answer. We tried negotiation for 5 years, Helen shot back. While you talked, the Vorthak destroyed 18 human colonies. Where were your negotiations when our people were dying? The chamber erupted in angry voices. Multiple species began arguing at once. Some supported Helen's position. Others demanded that humanity be punished for using excessive force. Chairman Veltar called for order. The issue is not the rescue operation. The issue is the weapon technology you used. How did humanity acquire such devastating capabilities? Helen had expected this question. Admiral Sullivan had briefed her carefully on what she could and could not reveal. We developed the technology ourselves. Humanity has always been good at engineering solutions to difficult problems. Impossible, declared Ambassador Zixtar of the Vorthak Empire. He was a large insect-like creature with armor plating and multiple eyes. No species developed such technology independently. You must have stolen it or received illegal assistance. Are you calling me a liar? Helen asked. I am stating facts, Zixtar replied. 8 Vorthak warships, including 2 dreadnoughts, were completely destroyed by a single human vessel. This is beyond current human capabilities by several thousand years. Perhaps you underestimated human capabilities, Helen said calmly. The Vorthak ambassador's mandibles clicked angrily. We demand immediate inspection of all human military facilities. We demand full technical specifications of this new weapon. You demand nothing, Helen interrupted. The chamber went silent. No one had ever spoken to a Vorthak ambassador that way in the council chambers. You are a conquering empire that has violated galactic law repeatedly. You have no right to demand anything from humanity. Chairman Veltar tried to restore order. Ambassador Foster, while the council sympathizes with humanity's losses, we must consider the balance of power in the galaxy. Weapons of such magnitude threaten galactic stability. Where was your concern for galactic stability when the Vorthak were burning our worlds? Helen asked. For 5 years, humanity requested council intervention. For 5 years, you told us to be patient, to trust. In the process, meanwhile, millions of our people died. She walked to the center of the chamber, something no minor species ambassador had ever done. You want to know how we built this ship? We built it because we had to. Because no one else would protect human lives. Because we learned that in this galaxy, might makes right. Ambassador Korval of the Zentari Empire leaned forward. The Zentari were one of the most powerful species in the galaxy. They rarely spoke in council sessions. Ambassador Foster, your new weapon technology threatens the established order. Some might see this as an act of aggression against all peaceful species. Helen turned to face the Zentari ambassador. And some might see it as proof that humanity will no longer tolerate being treated as a second-class species. We are not your enemies, Korval, but we are no longer defenseless. You speak of defense, said Ambassador Lyra, of the peaceful Aquarian systems. But this ship destroyed 8 vessels in minutes. That is not defensive capability, that is offensive power beyond anything we have seen. The best defense against predators is the ability to fight back, Helen replied. The Vorthak understand only strength. Today, they learned that humanity possesses that strength. Ambassador Zixtar stood up from his seat. The Vorthak Empire will not tolerate this aggression. We demand compensation for our destroyed vessels. We demand the immediate surrender of this superweapon. We demand— Sit down, Helen said quietly. The chamber went dead silent. No one told a Vorthak ambassador to sit down. The Vorthak Empire controlled over 200 star systems. They had one of the largest fleets in the galaxy. Excuse me? Ambassador Zixtar said. I said sit down, Helen repeated. Your empire has terrorized this galaxy for centuries. You have destroyed countless civilizations. You have enslaved entire species. Today, for the first time, someone fought back and won. Deal with it. Ambassador Zixtar's multiple eyes focused on Helen with hatred. You forget yourself, human. The Vorthak Empire has ships and soldiers beyond your comprehension. One vessel does not make you a power. One vessel just destroyed 8 of your best ships. Helen pointed out. How many more? Do you want to lose? Chairman Veltar was losing control of the session. Ambassador Foster, while the Council understands humanity's frustration, threats are not appropriate in this chamber. I am not making threats, Helen said. I am stating facts. The fact is that humanity now possesses the ability to defend itself. The fact is that we will use that ability whenever necessary. The fact is that the galaxy's power structure just changed forever. She looked around the chamber at all the alien faces watching her. For too long, powerful species have preyed on weaker ones while this council did nothing. Today, one of those weaker species proved they are weak no longer. Ambassador Chendar of the Kepler Republic spoke up. Ambassador Foster, the Kepler Republic would like to propose immediate peace negotiations between our peoples. We believe our past conflicts were based on misunderstandings. Helen almost smiled. The Kepler Republic had been humanity's enemy for decades. They had funded pirates who attacked human shipping. Now they wanted peace. Fear was a powerful motivator. Humanity is always willing to discuss peace with those who approach us honestly, Helen replied. The session continued for 3 more hours. Species after species either demanded restrictions on human weapons or requested new diplomatic relationships. The Ethereal Collective offered to share advanced technology. The Aquarian systems suggested joint exploration missions. Even some Vorthak client species began hinting that they might be interested in switching sides. Through it all, Helen maintained her calm demeanor. Inside, she felt years of frustration and anger finally being released. Humanity had been the galaxy's victim for too long. Today, that ended. As the session concluded, Chairman Veltar made a final statement. The Council will investigate this matter thoroughly. We will determine what restrictions must be placed on this new technology to maintain galactic peace. Helen stood up one last time. Chairman Veltar, with respect, humanity will not accept restrictions placed by a body that failed to protect us when we needed protection. We will defend ourselves as we see fit. She walked out of the chamber with her head high. Behind her, the most powerful beings in the galaxy argued about what to do with a species they could no longer ignore. In space above the Council homeworld, long-range sensors detected a new contact approaching. It was massive, moving fast, and its energy signature matched no known vessel type. The UES Defiance had come to collect their ambassador. The galaxy would never be the same. 6 months after finding the alien artifact, Chief Engineer Danny Carter stood on a platform high above the largest construction project in human history. The Titan Station shipyards had been expanded 3 times to handle what they were building. Even then, the massive framework stretched beyond what his eyes could see. Danny wiped sweat from his forehead and looked at his work tablet. Every day brought new challenges. The alien designs were incredible, but they had not been made for human hands or human tools. Everything had to be adapted, rebuilt, and tested again. Chief Carter, we have another problem with the power coupling. In Section 7, called out Engineer Betty Walsh from below. She climbed up the metal stairs to reach him. Her coveralls were stained with oil and her face was tired. What kind of problem? Danny asked. The alien power system is not playing nice with our reactors again. Every time we try to connect them, the whole grid shuts down. Danny nodded. This was the 5th time this week. The alien technology was far beyond anything humans had ever built. It was like trying to connect a lightning bolt to a flashlight battery. Admiral Kate Sullivan walked across the platform toward them. She visited the construction site every day, watching their progress with sharp eyes. Danny knew she was under pressure from Earth Command. The Vorthak had attacked 2 more colonies while they were building. People were asking why humanity was wasting resources on one ship instead of building a proper fleet. How are we doing, Chief? Admiral Sullivan asked. Better than yesterday. Worse than we hoped, Danny replied honestly. The hull is 70% complete. The weapons systems are installed but not tested. The real problem is making everything work together. Admiral Sullivan looked out at the massive ship taking shape below them. It was 2 kilometers long and half a kilometer wide. The hull was black metal that seemed to drink in light. Even unfinished, it looked dangerous. "The Galactic Council is asking questions," Admiral Sullivan said quietly. "They want to inspect our shipyards. They say they are worried about human weapons development." Danny laughed without humor. "Where were they when the Vorthak were burning our colonies?" "Exactly what I told them," Admiral Sullivan replied. "But we need to be careful. If they find out what we are really building here, they might try to stop us." Dr. Rachel Green joined them on the platform. She was the theoretical physicist in charge of adapting the alien technology. Her hair was messy and her clothes looked like she had slept in them. She probably had. "Admiral, I think I have solved the power coupling problem," Rachel said excitedly. "The alien systems were not designed to work with our technology. They were designed to work with something much more advanced, but I found a way around it." "Show me," Danny said. Rachel pulled out her tablet and showed them a complicated diagram. "We were trying to make the alien systems work like human systems, but they do not work that way at all. They work by bending space around them. If we build the power couplings using their method instead of ours, everything should connect properly." Danny studied the plans. What Rachel was suggesting would require rebuilding half the power systems they had already installed. It would take weeks of extra work, but if she was right, it would solve their biggest problem. "How sure are you about this?" Admiral Sullivan asked. 90%, Rachel replied. "Maybe 95%. "That is good enough for me," Danny said. "Let's do it." Lieutenant Colonel Mike Torres climbed up to join them on the platform. He was going to be the ship's tactical officer when it was finished. Danny liked Mike. He was smart, and he understood that sometimes you had to break things to make them work better. "I just got the latest reports from the front lines," Mike said. "The Vorthak took the Proxima system yesterday. The garrison fleet was destroyed in 4 hours. Admiral Sullivan's face went hard. "How many ships did they lose?" 3 light cruisers damaged, no ships destroyed. Danny felt sick. The Proxima system had been defended by 8 human warships and a space station. It should have been enough to hold off a small attack. But the Vorthak were getting bolder and stronger every month. "How much longer do we need?" Admiral Sullivan asked Danny. "If Rachel's power solution works, maybe 8 weeks to finish construction. Then we need at least 2 weeks of testing before the ship is ready for combat." "We might not have that long," Mike said. "Intelligence reports say the Vorthak are planning something big. They have been moving ships toward the core systems." "Admiral." Sullivan was quiet for a long moment. Below them, hundreds of workers were installing armor plates on the ship's hull. Sparks flew from welding torches. The sound of construction filled the air. "We work faster," Admiral Sullivan finally said. "I will get you more workers and more resources. This ship has to be ready." Over the next month, the pace of construction increased. Workers labored in 12-hour shifts. New equipment arrived every day. The shipyard never slept. Danny barely left the construction site. He ate meals while checking progress reports. He slept in a small room near the main assembly area. Every day brought new problems to solve and new systems to test. The weapons were the most challenging part. The alien designs called for energy cannons that could punch holes through space itself. The power requirements were enormous. Rachel had to rebuild the reactor systems 3 times before they could handle the load. "These weapons could destroy a moon," Mike said one day as they tested the targeting systems. "Are we sure we want to put this much power on one ship?" "The Vorthak have weapons that can crack planets," Danny replied. "We need something that can fight back." Dr. Sam Phillips visited from Earth to check on their progress. He had been working with the alien artifact for months, learning new things from its databanks every day. "The species that built this technology called themselves the Kethtar," Sam told them. "They were peaceful explorers for thousands of years. Then something forced them to build weapons like this. What forced them? Admiral Sullivan asked. The Vorthak, Sam replied. According to the historical records in the artifact, the Vorthak destroyed the Kethtar civilization completely. Every world, every ship, every person. The only thing that survived was the knowledge stored in artifacts like the one we found. Danny felt a chill run down his spine. If the Kethtar had built ships like this one and still lost to the Vorthak, what did that say about humanity's chances? There is more, Sam continued. The Kethtar were not the first civilization the Vorthak destroyed. There were others, many others. The Vorthak have been conquering and destroying for millions of years. Then why are they taking so long with us? Mike asked. Because we are different, Sam said. Every other species they fought tried to match their technology. We are doing something they do not expect. We are taking their enemies' weapons and making them better. By the end of the second month, the ship was nearly complete. They had named it the UES Defiance. Danny thought it was a good name. It said exactly what humanity intended to do. The final systems came online one by one. Engines that could bend space, shields that could stop anything, weapons that could destroy fleets. As each system activated, Danny felt a mixture of pride and fear. They had built something incredible, something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. But they had also built something that would make humanity a target for every enemy they had. Standing on the bridge of the completed ship, Danny looked out at the stars through the main view screen. Somewhere out there, the Vorthak were planning their next attack. Soon, they would learn that humanity was no longer helpless. The galaxy was about to become a much more dangerous place. Captain Alex Murphy stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance and felt small. The bridge was larger than most human ships were long. Control stations stretched in every direction. The main view screen was so big it covered an entire wall. Everything hummed with barely controlled power. Captain, all systems are showing green, reported Commander Tony Chen from the navigation station. He was the best pilot in the human fleet. If anyone could handle a ship this size, it was Tony. Alex nodded and walked to the captain's chair. It felt strange to command something so powerful. 3 days ago, he had been captain of a small patrol ship. Now he commanded a vessel that could destroy entire fleets. Crew status report, Alex said into his communicator. Engineering reports all systems normal, came Chief Betty Walsh's voice. She had moved from the construction team to become the ship's chief engineer. The power core is stable at 30% output. Weapon systems ready for testing, reported Major Sarah Johnson from the tactical station. She was young for a major, but she understood these new weapons better than anyone. Medical bay ready for casualties, said Dr. Emily Davis over the comm. Alex hoped they would not need her services, but testing weapons this powerful was dangerous. The ship had 800 crew members, all volunteers, all the best humanity had to offer. Engineers, soldiers, scientists, and support staff who knew they were part of something that would change history. Sir, incoming message from Admiral Sullivan, said Lieutenant Chris Taylor, at the communications station. Put her through, Alex replied. Admiral Sullivan's face appeared on a smaller screen near the captain's chair. She looked tired. Captain Murphy, I know you wanted more time for testing, but we have a situation. Alex felt his stomach tighten. What kind of situation? A Vorthak fleet has trapped a civilian convoy near Proxima, 30,000 people, 3 colony ships and their escorts. The Galactic Council fleet is still 3 days away. How many Vorthak ships? Major Johnson asked. 6 heavy cruisers and 2 dreadnoughts, Admiral Sullivan replied. More than enough to destroy the convoy before help arrives. Alex looked around his bridge. His crew was listening to every word. They knew what this meant. Their first mission would not be a safe test of systems. It would be a rescue operation against impossible odds. Orders, Admiral? Alex asked. That convoy has children on it, Captain. Families trying to reach safety. I cannot order you to risk your ship and crew, but I also cannot let those people die while we have the power to save them." Alex understood. This was not really an order. It was a choice. Take the untested ship into battle against overwhelming enemy forces, or let 30,000 innocent people die. "How long do we have?" Alex asked. "The Vorthak will reach the convoy in 6 hours. It will take you 4 hours to get there if you push the engines." Alex looked at his crew again. Tony was checking navigation routes. Sarah was studying tactical data about Vorthak ships. Betty was monitoring the engine readings. None of them looked afraid. They looked ready. "Admiral, the UES Defiance will depart for Proxima immediately," Alex said. "Good luck, Captain. Bring our people home." The journey to Proxima took exactly 4 hours and 12 minutes. Alex spent the time learning his ship. The alien technology was incredible, but it was also complex. Every system had backup systems. Every backup had its own backup. Dr. Sam Phillips, now serving as the ship's science officer, gave Alex a briefing on Vorthak tactics. They like to surround their targets and fire from multiple directions. Their ships are fast and their weapons are powerful. But they are not used to fighting anything that can hit back hard. "What about their shields?" Sarah asked. "Standard energy barriers, strong against human weapons, but these new guns should punch right through them." As they approached the Proxima system, Chris picked up the convoy's distress signal. "Captain, the civilian ships are requesting immediate assistance. The Vorthak fleet is beginning their attack run." Alex studied the tactical display. 8 Vorthak warships were moving to surround 3 slow civilian vessels. The convoy's escort ships were trying to buy time, but they were badly outnumbered. "Time to intercept?" Alex asked Tony. 18 minutes at current speed." "Too long," Sarah said. "The convoy will be destroyed by then." Alex made a decision that would have been impossible with any other ship. "Tony, prepare for emergency jump. Put us right in the middle of the Vorthak formation." Tony's eyes went wide. "Sir, jumping that close to enemy ships is extremely dangerous. If we materialize too close to another vessel..." "The alien navigation systems can handle it," Alex said. "Sam, back me up on this." Sam nodded. "The Keth-Tar used close-range jumps as a combat tactic. The Defiance was designed for it." "Do it," Alex ordered. The jump lasted 3 seconds. When they emerged from hyperspace, the UES Defiance was floating in the center of the Vorthak formation. Enemy ships surrounded them on all sides. For a moment, nobody moved. Then the Vorthak fleet opened fire. 8 warships unleashed everything they had at the human vessel. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes struck the Defiance's shields from every direction. The bridge shook, but the alien shield technology held easily. "Shields at 98%, Betty reported from engineering. "The enemy fire is actually charging our weapon systems." Alex smiled. The alien technology was even better than they had hoped. "Sarah, show them what real firepower looks like." The Defiance's main guns fired for the first time in combat. The port weapon struck the nearest Vorthak dreadnought dead center. The massive enemy ship simply vanished. No explosion. No debris. One moment it was there. The next moment there was empty space. The Vorthak fleet stopped firing. Alex could imagine the confusion on their bridges. They had never seen a weapon that could completely destroy a dreadnought with a single shot. "Sir, the Vorthak commander is trying to communicate," Chris reported. "Put him through," Alex said. The view screen showed a Vorthak bridge. The aliens looked like large insects with too many arms. Their commander was clicking and buzzing in their own language, but the translation came through clearly. "Unknown vessel. Identify yourself immediately. You are interfering with legitimate Vorthak operations." Alex stood up from his chair. "This is Captain Alex Murphy of the UES Defiance. You are attacking civilian ships under human protection. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." The Vorthak commander's insect eyes went wide. "Human vessel? Impossible. Humans do not possess such technology." "We do now," Alex replied. "You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawal." Instead of withdrawing, the Vorthak fleet resumed their attack. This time they concentrated all their fire on the Defiance's forward shields. The bridge shook harder, but the shields still held, shields at 95%, Betty reported. Their weapons cannot penetrate our defenses. Return fire, Alex ordered. All weapons. The Defiance unleashed its full weapon systems for the first time. 6 main energy cannons and dozens of smaller guns fired simultaneously. 3 Vorthak. Cruisers were destroyed instantly. The remaining dreadnought lost its engines and began spinning helplessly. The surviving Vorthak ships tried to retreat, but Sarah was ready for them. Sir, should I let them go? Alex thought about all the human colonies the Vorthak had destroyed, all the people who had died while the Galactic Council talked about peace. No, end this. The final Vorthak ships were destroyed within minutes. The entire enemy fleet was gone, and the Defiance had barely used a fraction of its power. Chris, open a channel to the convoy, Alex ordered. The view screen showed the bridge of the lead civilian ship. The captain was an older woman with tears in her eyes. UES Defiance, this is Captain Maria Santos of the transport ship New Hope. We owe you our lives. Just doing our job, Captain Santos, Alex replied. Are your ships damaged? Minor damage only. We can make it to safety. But Captain Murphy, what you just did, the whole galaxy will know about this within hours. Alex nodded. She was right. The news of this battle would spread across the galaxy faster than light. Every species would learn that humanity now possessed weapons that could destroy entire fleets. As they escorted the convoy to safety, Chris monitored galactic communications. Sir, the networks are going crazy. Everyone is trying to figure out what happened here. What are they saying? Alex asked. Everything from humanity has become a major power to the humans are now the greatest threat in the galaxy. Alex looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Galactic Council was probably having emergency meetings. The Vorthak Empire was reassessing their expansion plans. Every military commander in known space was trying to figure out how to fight a ship like the Defiance. The test was over. The UES Defiance had passed with perfect scores. But Alex knew this was just the beginning. They had announced to the galaxy that humanity was no longer weak. Now they had to deal with the consequences. Captain Jake Morrison walked slowly through the empty halls of what used to be Kepler Mining Station. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. The lights were dim and flickering. Most of the power was gone. The air smelled like burned metal and something worse that he did not want to think about. Behind him, Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez held her scanner close to her face. The small screen showed red dots everywhere. Radiation levels were still high from the attack. Sir, we should not stay here too long, she said quietly. Jake nodded but kept walking. He had seen many destroyed colonies before. The Vorthak Empire was good at making sure nothing useful remained. They took what they wanted and burned the rest. But something felt different about this place. The attack had been too clean, too fast, even for the Vorthak. Captain, you need to see this, called Chief Engineer Danny Carter from across the main corridor. He was kneeling next to a large hole in the wall. His flashlight beam disappeared into the darkness beyond. Jake and Amy walked over to where Danny was working. The hole was perfectly round, about 3 feet across. The edges were smooth like glass. No human weapon could make a cut like that. Even Vorthak weapons left rough, jagged holes. This was not made by any weapon I know, Danny said. He ran his hand along the smooth edge. And look at this. He pointed his light into the hole. About 10 feet inside, something was glowing with a soft blue light. Amy checked her scanner again. I am getting strange readings from in there. The energy signature is not from any known technology. Jake looked at the hole, then at his crew. They had been together for 3 years. He trusted them with his life, but he also knew they were all tired. Tired of finding dead colonies, tired of arriving too late to help, tired of watching the Galactic Council do nothing while humans died. Can we get through there safely? Jake asked. Danny nodded. The radiation is actually lower inside. Whatever made this hole seems to have cleaned the area. They crawled through the opening one by one. Jake went first. The space beyond was larger than he expected. It looked like they were in some kind of storage room, but the walls were covered with symbols that glowed with the same blue light they had seen from outside. In the center of the room sat an object that made Jake stop breathing for a moment. It was about the size of a basketball, but it was not round. It had many flat sides like a cut diamond. Each side showed different symbols that moved and changed as they watched. The blue light came from inside it, pulsing slowly like a heartbeat. "What is that thing?" Amy whispered. Danny was already taking readings with his equipment. "The energy output is incredible, but it is contained somehow. No radiation at all." Jake walked closer to the object. As he got near, the symbols on its surface began to move faster. The blue light got brighter. "It knows we are here," he said. "Captain, maybe we should not touch it," Amy said. She was nervous. Jake could hear it in her voice. But Jake was already reaching out. Something about the object called to him. As his fingers touched the surface, the room filled with light. Images appeared in the air around them. Ships, massive ships unlike anything Jake had ever seen. Battles in space with weapons that turned entire planets to dust. Civilizations rising and falling across thousands of years. The images stopped suddenly. The room went dark except for the soft blue glow of the object. Jake pulled his hand back. His head was spinning with new knowledge. Things he had not known before were now clear in his mind. "We need to get this back to the ship," he said. "Right now." "What did you see?" Danny asked. Jake looked at his crew. These were good people. They deserved to know what they were getting into. But he also knew that once they learned the truth, there would be no going back. "I saw how to build ships that could destroy the Vorthak fleet," he said. "All of them." The trip back to their ship, the UES Liberty, took 2 hours. Jake carried the object in a special container that Danny had built. The thing was heavier than it looked, but not because of its weight. It felt heavy because of what it meant. On the Liberty, Dr. Sam Phillips was waiting for them in the main lab. Sam was the smartest person Jake knew. If anyone could figure out what they had found, it was him. "Where did you find this?" Sam asked, as soon as he saw the object. "Hidden in the station," Amy told him, "in a room that was not on any of the station plans." Sam began running tests immediately. His equipment could barely handle the energy readings. "This is not human technology," he said after an hour. "It is not Vorthak either. This is something much older." "How much older?" Jake asked. "Maybe millions of years. The materials alone are impossible. They should not exist according to everything we know about physics." Commander Lisa Bennett joined them in the lab. She was Jake's second in command and the best tactical officer in the human fleet. "Captain, we just got word. From Earth Command, 3 more colonies were attacked while we were here. The Galactic Council is calling for another peace conference." Jake felt anger rise in his chest. More conferences. More talking while humans died. The Galactic Council had been talking about the Vorthak problem for 5 years. In that time, the Vorthak had destroyed 12 human colonies and enslaved the populations of 6 more. "How long until we can crack the encryption on this thing?" Jake asked Sam. "Give me 48 hours, Sam replied. "Maybe less if you can help me understand what you saw when you touched it." Jake spent the next day telling Sam everything he remembered from the vision. Ships 2 kilometers long with weapons that could punch holes in reality itself. Energy shields that could stop anything. Faster than light drives that made current human technology look like stone tools. But there was something else in the vision. Something that worried Jake. The civilization that built these ships was gone, destroyed, and the Vorthak had been there when it happened. On the second day, Sam finally broke through the object's defenses. the lab filled with holographic displays, showing ship designs, weapon specifications, and construction methods. Lisa stared at the tactical information with growing excitement. Jake, according to this data, one of these ships could take on an entire Vorthak battle group and win, she said. How long would it take to build one? Jake asked. Sam was already running calculations. With current human industrial capacity, maybe 2 years if we started today, but we would need resources from at least 6 systems and the complete cooperation of Earth Command. Jake looked at the holographic ship rotating slowly in front of them. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Humanity had always survived by being tougher and more stubborn than their enemies. Now they had a chance to be stronger too. "Get me a secure channel to Admiral Sullivan," Jake said to Amy. "It is time to stop running from the Vorthak." Outside, the ship. Space looked peaceful. Stars shone quietly in the darkness. But Jake knew that soon, one of those stars would light the fires of the greatest shipyard humanity had ever built. The galaxy was about to learn that humans could be much more dangerous than anyone had imagined.